Welcome to today's presentation on informational interviewing. The purpose of our presentation today is to introduce to you the concept of informational interviewing and explain why you should consider engaging in this important career development activity. Also, I wanted to spend some time explaining how to facilitate one of these interviews for yourself. An informational interview is a great opportunity for you to get information from those working in your career field of choice. It is an opportunity for you to confirm the career path that you're wanting to pursue, gain knowledge on how to enter that career field, and also gain the connections that could lead to future professional opportunities. My hope is that you would take advantage of this tool to prepare for your career launch. To get started, I wanted to provide a definition of what an informational interview is. And it is a career development activity where a student interviews a professional in their chosen field to learn more about the career path and expand uh, their professional network. So I wanted to break this definition down a little bit into smaller pieces. First, a- an informational interview is a career development opportunity. It's an opportunity for you as a student to learn from the knowledge and experience of a professional who's already working in their career field. Who better to learn from than someone who's already in the position that you want to be in? It's also a conversation with a professional in your chosen field. So it may be nerve-wracking to talk to a stranger, especially a working professional. But remember, professionals more often than not are eager and willing to share their experience and their knowledge with those who are interested. And this is a great time that you can leverage your role as a student or one who's looking to learn more about what it takes to work in a certain career field. Third, it's about learning about a certain career field and forming a network. An, an informational interview is primarily about seeking information. If you're already certain about your career path, you can learn more about how to break into that career field. If you're uncertain, it's a time when you can get valuable information on what it's like to work in a certain career. As a secondary goal, informational interviewing allows you to expand your professional network. And the larger your network is, the more exposure you'll have to professional opportunities such as jobs and internships. So, who would benefit from conducting an informational interview? Well, anyone who's looking to grow in their professional knowledge and in their professional network can benefit from informational interviews. But this opportunity is especially beneficial for those who haven't launched their career, such as you as a student. You want to make sure that while you're in school, you're preparing for to make your career launch as successful as possible when you graduate. And you may be at different points along the way in this preparation process, which is okay. You may be interested in the field, but still not sure whether or not it's the right career path for you and interested in wanting to learn more to see if it's a good fit. So just like you would test drive a car before buying it or tour a house before buying it, you also will want to try on a job before committing to it as your career. And an informational interview is a great opportunity to look behind the scenes and to learn a little bit more about what the day-to-day is like before committing to it as a job. Professionals who are working in that field, doing the job day to day, will be able to provide this valuable insight for you. Alternatively, you may be already confident and sure of what career you want to pursue, but just looking for the knowledge needed to break in. You'll need knowledge and insight in the industry in order to break into any career field. And someone who's working in that industry will be able to provide those insights for you. Remember, don't be shy or embarrassed to ask for help. More often than not, professionals are very willing to help students who are asking them for help. And others have more than likely given them help along the way, so they are more than happy to pass it along. So why should you conduct an informational interview? There are several reasons. First would be career clarity. Just like we talked about in the last slide, an informational interview is a great chance for you to look behind the curtain and try on a job before committing to it. You'll spend 40 hours or more per week at work, and you want to make sure that you're doing something that you enjoy. When talking to a professional and seeking career clarity, you can ask questions such as, what does your day-to-day look like? Or what is your favorite or least favorite part of your job? The second reason would be career advice, the opportunity for you to learn from someone who is already in the position that you want to be in, someone who has already successfully launched their career. To get advice from a professional, you may ask them questions such as, how did you get started in your career? Or what advice would you have for someone in my position? Third, third reason is career development. The more knowledge and insight you have about the industry you're looking to get into, the better you'll be able to perform when it comes to a job interview and networking situations. And someone already working in that profession will have a wealth of knowledge to be able to share for you. Some questions that you might consider asking someone to help develop you in your career would be, what software is typically used in this type of job? Or what certifications or badges can be useful? And finally, career advancement. An informational interview is a great opportunity to form professional connections for potential future opportunities. Remember, an informational interview is primarily about gaining information and not asking for a job. But as a side benefit, you do get an expanded network. Some questions that you could ask in order to build that professional network during an informational interview would be, is there anyone else that you know that you can connect me with that might be able to give me more information about this career path? Or would it be possible to connect on LinkedIn? So hopefully by now you're convinced of the benefits of an informational interview, but maybe asking yourself, okay, well, how do I do it? So we're going to go over the ins and outs of conducting an informational interview, but this all starts with finding someone to interview. You're going to want to find a person who fits your goal for the interview. So whether you're pursuing career clarity or career advice, knowing your aim and your goal for an informational interview will help you find the right person to interview. And there are several different places that you might consider searching to find potential candidates to interview. First would be your personal connections. A personal connection could be a family friend, a professor, a classmate, or even a professional that you met during a networking event with the Career Center. This is a great place to start as it's a little bit lower stakes as you are talking with and discussing with a person that you're already familiar with. This is a great place to start where you can build your confidence and expand and go on from there. Another avenue that you might pursue to find someone to interview would be an alumni association. So every major university has an alumni association, And you can search the UCR Association to find individuals near you who work in your career field. This would be also a great place to explore as you already have that UCR connection and it makes reaching out to them a bit more organic. A- Another place that you can find alumni to connect with would be through LinkedIn. So UCR has a LinkedIn page, and you can search for alumni who are working in your field on that page and get connected on LinkedIn. If you are planning on connecting with alumni on LinkedIn, please be sure that you have a finished profile. Finally, you can cold call professionals of interest in your field. This may be the most nerve-wracking because you don't have that organic connection, but you do have the opportunity to be the most targeted. You can be specific and target the person that you want to talk to, whether it be their job title or the company they work for. You can search for a targeted individual. You can do this by searching company websites to see if they make their employee information public, or find the company page on LinkedIn and search for people to find the job title that you're looking for. And from there, get connected on LinkedIn. So, how do you conduct an informational interview? We're going to go through the steps of successfully conducting an informational interview, starting with research, then connect, prepare, meet up, and then follow up. And we'll take these steps one by one. So, starting with research, you're going to want to ask yourself, what are you hoping to gain from this interaction? So, whether it be looking for career advice or looking to confirm whether or not your career direction is right, this asking this initial question will help you to find the right individual to interview. From there, you can use some of the avenues that we mentioned in the previous slide to get connected into individuals to ask them for an informational interview. And you can collect a pool of potential interviewees to reach out to. And from there, you're ready to start contacting these professionals. You can reach out by phone, by email, or even through LinkedIn to get connected for an informational interview. Remember when you're reaching out to these professionals to remember your professional etiquette. If you're reaching out on LinkedIn, again, remember to have a finished profile. If you're reaching out over the phone, be sure to have a completed voicemail just in case they miss your call and need to call you back. And also be sure to remember your professional etiquette over email. You want to explain who you are, why you're reaching out to them, and what you seek from them. You're asking for 15 to 20 minutes of their time to ask them questions. And these interviews can be virtual, they can be over the phone, and they can even be in person. And whenever possible, we do recommend having these interviews be in person as it is important to have that face-to-face connection. On the screen here, we have an example of an email from a student reaching out to a professional for an informational interview. As you read this email, you can see in the first section, in the yellow section, this student is letting the professional know who they are, as it's always good to make that introduction. Second, in the green, you'll want to let the person know how you found their information. And this is especially helpful if this is not a personal connection. This is someone that you do not know. Third, in the blue, you can see it's always important to explain why you're reaching out to them in particular. What about them caught your interest that you'd want to ask them for an interview? And then in the pink, you want to be very clear about what you're asking for, 15 to 20 minutes of their time to ask them some questions about their career. And finally, you want to make sure to close the email in a professional manner. On this slide, There are two QR codes for some additional resources that might be helpful in this. The first is a phone script or an email script and an email script for reaching out to professionals requesting an informational interview. And the second is professional etiquette for following up. So after you have scheduled your informational interview, it is very important to be prepared. Remember that when you're the host, when you're conducting an informational interview, you are the host and you're going to be guiding the conversation. So prepare 8 to 10 questions for a 15 to 20-minute interview and be sure to highlight your favorites just in case you don't get a chance to get to all of them. You'll want to avoid asking questions that you can easily find online to make sure you make the best use of your time and the time of your interviewee. There are different categories of questions that you might choose from, and the categories that you choose will depend on what your purpose of the interview is, whether it be looking for career clarity, career advice, and so on. The first category is career choice, asking about their background and how they got into the career field. You might consider asking questions such as, how did you get started in your career? Or why did you choose a career in blank? Second, second category, job details, or what the day-to-day is like in their profession. This will be a great category for someone who is looking for career clarity. Some questions you might consider asking would be, what does a typical day look like for you? Or does your work require collaboration or more independent work? You can ask lifestyle questions or how the demands of the job affect their personal life. Again, this would be a great category for someone seeking career clarity. Some questions you might consider asking would be, what are the common hours or the daily schedule of someone in this career? And are there busy or slow seasons? The final category here would be career advice or what they suggest you to do to advance your career. You can consider asking, do you have any advice for someone who is looking to enter the field? Or if you were me, what would be your next move? Be sure always to ask, can you recommend anyone else who might be willing to talk to me about their career? This is a great way to tap into your interviewees' professional network as well as get a head start on your next informational interview. Be sure to never ask about jobs or internships, as remember, the point of an informational interview is to ask for information and not a job or internship. The QR code here will lead you to a question guide for more examples of questions that you might consider asking during an informational interview. After you've prepared for your interview, it is time for the big day. It is time to meet up. You may be a little bit nervous, which is okay, but remember, genuine interest and curiosity in the person you're interviewing is the key to a successful interview. When you first meet up, be sure to reiterate your purpose for the meeting and find opportunities to demonstrate your knowledge that you've obtained during your research, whether about the person or the company they work for. If you're getting a meal or coffee, offer to pay if possible. And remember to make sure the conversation revolves mostly around them. During your interview, be mindful of their time and do not go over the amount of time you have initially agreed upon unless your interviewee says it's okay. As a best practice, I recommend taking a notebook and taking notes during your interview. This will be useful for you to look back and reflect on later. Always, always, always remember to thank them for their time. After you've met up, there's still one more step to go, and that is to follow up. Be sure to always write a thank you letter or email. This is a great way to leave a good lasting impression. Con Connect on LinkedIn and keep the connection alive so that that person stays an active part of your network. And look back at your notes and reflect on what you've learned and who you might consider interviewing next. This QR code will take you to a link of a follow-up template for following up from an informational interview. Today, we talked about the importance of informational interviewing and how it is a how it is an important tool in a successful career launch. The purpose of an informational interview is to gain valuable information and connections to prepare for that career launch. We also talked about the practical how-tos of informational interviewing. Everything from how to find someone to interview, how to prepare, how to execute, and then how to follow up from an informational interview. And we hope you feel empowered and prepared with this new tool to prepare your career launch for yourself.